Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wise Tips. Thank you so much for joining us here today. As you probably noticed, we do have a guest here today, Nicholas. He's one of our Wise Option team members on the network team. We're going to go ahead and introduce him in just a little bit and have a good talk with him here to introduce everyone to our crowd. But first and foremost, of course, we're going to start off with a couple announcements from Eduardo.
Hey, Rachel. Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see you all. Still on the road. I'm heading back to Dallas, but today in Arizona, in the Scottsdale area, Phoenix and Scottsdale, visiting some clients here. Very excited about things and new clients, new prospects. So, several things coming along the way. Um, we're going to be talking about Nicolas in a minute, but before, I'd like to give some wise tips to not only our wise option users but non-wise option users alike, which is all about security. So it's going to be probably giving the floor for Nicholas in a minute, but the thing is, it's becoming crazy on the internet today how people are trying to come up with new ideas, very creative hooks for users to fall tip, uh, things that are just trying to get the opportunity to seize your computer, your username, password, social security, whatever, to compromise your data. So the very first thing I'd like to tell you guys, it's number one, um, when you answer the phone, especially if you're expecting some sort of support, if you're in need of support, it just might happen that precisely at that moment you got a spammer. And when they are on the phone with you, the very first thing they probably going to tell you are going to be some vague words like, hey, I'm the support guy for the computer. And because you're already waiting, let's say, for example, for that sake, Wise Option support to call you, oh, Wise Option, yes, I need you. Wait, take a moment. And that's why we're going to introduce you, Nick, here today, because we want you guys to have a relationship with our team. We want you guys to identify the voice, learn the names, even if possible. Here in Wise Option, we try as much as possible to be with our cameras on as well, so you can see our reaction, our body expression, and things like that. But don't start giving away just because of coincidence. I don't know about your country, your state, but here in Dallas, Texas, well, I should say Arizona as well, where I am today, um, Uber, they never open the door. What's your name? And the same. So make some sort of confirmation before you assuming that you're talking to the right person. Do some testing, because you are on that anxiety, and in that moment, in the expectation to have your problem solved, you might be talking to a bad guy. So that would be number one. Okay. Remember, memorize, try to be personable with your the team that supports your operation. And number two would be precisely that. Collect more data, make sure you're talking to the right person, and then you go from there. But never, ever start to just, assuming that's the right person. It has happened to us here in the past. I remember a case in December 2017. It was the Christmas day. One of our users was precisely in that situation, and she gave the number. And she was expecting for support, and it was one of those coincidences. And that's why we are talking about security. We are so obsessed about your security. We are so obsessed about your success that it would be really nice if you could give us a hand and also be proactive and take these little measures in your safeguard. So having that said, Nicholas is our support, one of our people here in the support. So we are bringing him today so you can know him, so you can identify the name. You know, maybe his accent is not as strong as mine. I don't know, Nicholas. We're gonna find out in a minute. But which is it's another good hint. There are difference in intonations and the way people speaks. Even my wrong English, it's a good way for you to see. Well, that's Eduardo indeed. Well, but having that said, Nicholas, welcome to the team. We want everybody to know Who is Nicolas? Tell us a little bit about your past and how you end up with computers, just like me.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. Thank you, Rachel, for having me here. My accent is terrible, by the way, but that would be a good way to identify me in the future. My name is Nicolas. I'm 39 years old. I am from Uruguay. That's the reason why, because my accent, South America. And I've been in the tech industry for more than 12 years. I work for several companies, always involved in the support sector, providing services for a lot of people. And anytime any of you users call us because you have any issues trying to access any of your terminals or whatever issue that you have related to the Wise Option application, I will be the one picking up the call or answering the messages, most probably, as well as Sahid, that most people already know. Um, like I said before, I've been always involved in the technology sector, mostly administrating servers and providing access for whoever is using whatever application they're using. And, so far it has been a great experience. Working for you guys has been a great experience as well. I have learned a lot. Um, in terms of security, I have seen that you guys are doing very, very good. And I'm more than glad to continue working with you guys. Uh, I feel very happy.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Nick. And I know we're really happy to have you on here as well.
Thank you.
And we, as Shahid probably told you too, it's very nice to have, always have someone as a backup and to be able to, tag team things and go through and provide our users with the most amount of support possible, of course. Just I know what it's like starting something new, and especially, I've only been doing this, for with Wise Option for the past, couple years. And I still remember what it was like starting off. Obviously it's a little bit of a learning curve and going through those things. Have you anything that you've kind of run into as you've gone through any things that you've really enjoyed so far? Because I know that it's a lot to cover, but I know there's some things that are very rewarding about it too. Is there been anything that you've just really enjoyed doing or anything that kind of surprised you?
Yeah, being someone who likes technology, you always face challenges. And one of the things that I like about technology is that you never stop learning. So whenever you come across any issues that you are not really sure how to solve at the moment, you need to start investigating, you need to start looking for information. Luckily, we have a lot of resources in which we can rely on for us to find information. So that's one of the things that I like about technology, and that's some of the challenges that I have faced over my career. Always trying to find new information, looking for new technologies that provide new solutions. Um, it's always challenging, but it's always going to be like this. You just need to be ready, and as long as you like this job, you will be fine. You will continue learning and facing new challenges, and as long as you're ready, everything will be fine. So I think that's one of the things that I like the most about this job, that you never stop learning, and you always push yourself more and more, learning and getting to know new technologies, and you get amazed of the new things that comes up, like things like the artificial intelligence that we're seeing right now. uh, they're great, and they amaze me every time I see something like that, and it makes me think about the future. And you know I love technology.
Yeah, computers never stop evolving. What would you say is the most frequent type of assistance our users need today?
um, so far what I have seen is that people is not able to connect, which is something very easy. Sometimes people doesn't really know how to manage the credentials. They lost their credentials, and they don't remember how to access. So as a good practice, it's always good to keep those credentials safe. And even if you can write it down on a piece of paper, it's even better. You never know when your network might be compromised and someone get access to your folders and get that information, and who knows what can do after they get your password or username. Um, but that's one of the things that I have seen the most, people not being able to connect, but that is for simple reasons. Uh, that's what I have seen so far.
Yeah, it's just occurring to me here that you're mentioning about the password and stuff. I'd like also to mention something else. As a matter of fact, we had 3 cases this week only that was, just blew my mind, which is about when the user keeps trying the username and password over and over and over. Sometimes the caps lock is activated on the keyboard. Sometimes the numerical pad is deactivated on the keyboard. Sometimes is capital I that looks like a lowercase L. Those little things, and you might be trying over and over and over the wrong um, password on your terminal connection. Here's what we have to say about that. Be careful, because if you try more than 5, 6, 7 times, something's wrong. Please don't keep trying, because if you keep trying with the wrong credentials, what happens is that our servers are prepared and with configurations that will identify probably that as an attack attempt. And what happens? It blocks that IP address trying to protect the server. If you have a facility, that happens not only for Wise Options, several infrastructures work on the same way. And if you have, multiple users coming from that same facility, it's the same IP address. Because of one user trying to access over and over and over with the wrong credential, you might compromise that IP address. The server will lock that IP address in an attempt to protect the server. Now, guess what? Nobody can access the server from that particular IP address. So our suggestion, if you're trying more than 3 or 4 times, stop, double check, call us. Maybe there's something wrong, or maybe somebody else in the facility asked for a new, something like that. So it's just something that occurred to me. And it was amazing because we just had 3 cases like this week, right, Nicholas?
Yes, Eduardo, you're totally right. Also, if you try to log in a few times and you are not able to do so, uh, sometimes it's good to take your keyboard. Maybe you change some configurations on your keyboard, and even though you are typing the password correctly, it doesn't go through. So it's good also to take a look to that. Uh, but don't try more than 3 times. If you have that kind of problem, just give us a call, send us a message, create a ticket, and we will get back to you in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
We can guarantee that.
precisely.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, our limit is 10 times. If the same IP address from the same terminal tries it 10 times with the same username, it's going to block the IP address. It's not a big deal. You just call us. We clean that IP address again. Nothing happens. It's just shutting the door for that IP address. But it's an inconvenience because everybody in the network will be blocked as well. Mobile apps, web applications, all of that's going to keep working regularly. If you try to access Wise Option from home, which is a different IP address, should work just fine as well. But it's a precaution that we recommend our users to be careful about, and just it's one less thing to be worried, I guess. One question I have for you, Nicolas: why sometimes we can save the username and password on the remote desktop connection, link, and sometimes it's not possible. Although you click remember me, it keeps asking for the password over and over and over.
Okay. In order for us to avoid that, we need to save that under the remote desktop application settings, and it needs to be done. You need to right click on it, you can edit it, and then you can save it. But sometimes if you click on remember my credentials, it doesn't work. But there are ways to avoid that. There are several reasons, but we might have to take a look to that. But usually when we configure the terminals from our end, we do it in a way that it shouldn't be requesting credentials. Sometimes, if your computer is joined with another domain in which we not control, that could be one of the reasons why, even if you click on save my credentials, they don't get saved. If you have that problem and you are not really sure if you are joined to another domain, you can give us a call and we can take a look, because your computer might be compromised and you don't even know. But we can take a look to that. In case you have that problem, you give us a call, send us a message, and we can take a look.
That's great. Awesome. Well, that sounds to me like job security.
Think so.
Well, welcome to the team, and we look forward, to having your assistance. We already have had a couple of users praising the interaction with you, which makes us very happy. So keep up with the good work and keep learning, because we need to be on top of the wave, and especially now that we are going to face the modernization period, there will be a bunch of new stuff coming along the way, and hopefully easier and more secure ways to prevent and protect our users' data. So thanks so much for your work, and we look forward to keep working with you, Nicolas.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. Thank you for having me, giving me the chance to provide support to your users. I'm very excited to be working with you guys. So far, what I have seen, it's incredible. The application that you guys have, it's amazing. I think it provides a very good solution. And I am very happy to be working with you guys. It will help me to keep learning and continue learning about technology, which is something that I love.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for making the time to be here with us today. And thank you all who tuned in. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. But if nothing else, we'll see you next week. All right.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys.